everyone. As you guys know, I love going to the gym. I really feel that working out my muscles and working on strength training really complements my running, but not every runner feels the same, whether it's because you're at really high mileage, where adding extra strength training workouts is just conflicting with your training program, or maybe it's because of the other things you've got going on in life, family, kids, job, that you don't have time for the gym. Maybe you just don't like the gym. So I just wanted to show you some quick full body exercises that are still really important for runners to do and can be done in the comfort of your own home. You don't need to go to a gym. You don't even need to have any equipment in your house. These are all gonna be body weight exercises, okay? So before kind of doing the routine, I just want to go over a few things. Almost everything you do when you're strength training, its effectiveness depends on your form, okay? And I mean, we know this, but we don't want to think about it. I'm sure you think about it when you're running. You think about, oh, well, if I don't have good form, I'm going to break down. It's going to hurt later in the run. It's the same thing with strength training. Absolutely. If you're not doing the right form, you can actually be doing your body more harm than good. So a few things I want to point out. Anytime that you might be hinging at a joint, whether it be your elbow joint, your knee joint, even at your hip joint, anything more, I should say less than 90 degrees is going to be too much. And I say less than meaning, if you're hinging here and you've got more of like a 45-degree angle, that's putting a lot of stress on this joint right here, and that could not be good for it. So perfect example is our lunges, kind of stepping out here. And these are my dog toys on the floor. So you guys know, I was doing this video with the dog out and it did get to be too much. You can do this home workout with your dog and your kids running around, but you probably can't think and talk enough and have to do all the edits appropriately with the dog running around. So I did put him in the crate for the time being. But going back to your angle of your joints, if you're doing a lunge here, you want to come down, you want your knee angle to be 90 degrees, okay? And they say don't make it less than that would mean if you're doing this, okay? This is less than a 90-degree angle, 45-degree angle. This is a lot of strain on your knee. This is not good for you to be doing that, okay? So come here to 90 degrees. Now, if this is going too low for you, that's fine. You don't have to go that low. You can come here. You don't have to go that low, but just make sure that you're not doing this leaning forward, okay? Another example that we're gonna do is tricep push-ups, okay? So we do not want to be going down here, okay? This is less than a 90-degree angle. So the most you wanna do, 90 degrees at the very, very most here. It's the same thing with our shoulder joint as well, okay? The last point I wanna make for runners, besides kind of watching out for your joints, is how important it is to tighten your core in everything that you do. So a lot of us think tightening or strengthening our core just means doing a lot of crunches. I don't think you need to do many crunches, but in every activity that you do, if you focus on your core first before you start that activity, you'll be strengthening your core. Even while you're doing a push-up, which you think is for your arms, you'll be strengthening your core. So one way we want to activate our core is pretending that we've got a string that's connected to our belly button, kind of going through our body and out our back. And a lot of us kind of stand like this throughout the day, and you want to take that string and pull your belly button in towards your back, okay? So we stand like this, pull the string, pull the string. So your back becomes a lot more flat. As I'm doing that, you'll notice too that my hips have kind of tucked under me. They've tucked under me. And this is great because this posture for runners is really, really detrimental. If you can see me there, maybe against the light, if you can see me, this posture for runners, this overarch in our back over lengthens and stretches our hamstrings. So it'll create weak hamstrings. It also overstretches our abs. See how we're stretched out here? So you're actually not gonna have a strong core either. So you want to pull that string, suck the belly button towards your back, your hips come underneath you, your hamstring shortens. Now you can actually activate it and use it. Your core is engaged, so you're actually using your core, which helps you lift your leg in this motion that we all know and do every day as we run. So activating your core won't just help you in doing these body weight exercises to make your muscles stronger, but it's actually gonna help your running economy as well. So those are just a few of my tips for now, but I'm just gonna take you through a workout. It's gonna start with a Turkish Get-Up, which I'll explain because it's a weird one. After that, everything else is kind of self-explanatory. Turkish Get-Up I like doing as a way to kind of pay attention to my body, do those things I was just talking about with paying attention to the angles of my knees, paying attention to activating my core, focusing on my breathing, and it's just kind of a full body exercise, so it's a good easy way to ease into the home workout, I guess. You do not need any weight at all for this workout, but for my Turkish Get-Up, I personally do like to hold something. So I've gathered a few things in my house, which would be good just to prove to you that you don't need to have actual weights in your house. I have a candle that's pretty hefty. It's a solid like 2 pounds, I think. This would work. I have a vase. It's much lighter, it's about 1 pound, but it just gives me something to hold on to and to kind of feel resistance and pay attention to, because I don't want to drop this vase. So I'm gonna take good care of it and make sure I have good form in my body. Similarly, I have a plant here. Certainly don't want to drop this and get dirt all over the carpet, so I'm gonna pay attention to what I'm doing. So I'm gonna be, oh, also this plant is dying, it needed more sun. But I'm gonna go ahead and do my Turkish Get-Up holding a plant, because this will be the concentration I need not to spill it. So a Turkish Get-Up, the one I'm going to explain, you lift something over your head, start with nothing to start. What you want to do is take your shoulder and rotate it back, kind of get that shoulder blade back and down. We're going to come back into a backwards lunge. Then we're going to take the left leg, kind of tuck it underneath us. We're going to bring our body down. You can put your hand down for support. We're going to go all the way down to like a line down on the ground. This is where you do that belly button exercise. You try and flatten your back against the floor. We're also going to do the same thing with our shoulder blades, where we kind of make sure that both of our shoulder blades are touching the ground. Then we're going to activate our core, head up, kind of roll our bodies up. Keep that arm up, it's your guide, lifting you up. Tuck the leg underneath. Come back up into a lunge. You're staying nice and straight the whole time. This is activating your core the whole time, and you stand up. Okay? So that's it. It's complicated, but lunge. Tuck the leg back, lean back, hand down for support. Bring your leg through until you're lying down. Make sure everything is touching the ground, and then use the arm to guide you up nice and slow. Activate your core, trying to stay straight and stand up nice and tall. So you'll find that if you do this fast, you'll start falling over. And that is not the goal. The goal is to be controlled and to activate. I am activating my legs, right? My core right now, my hip flexors as I bend, coming down. I am now activating my core again, and my back and my shoulder blades against the floor. My arm is even getting a little fatigued just holding this 2-pound plant above my head. Coming back up. Awesome, okay, so if you did grab something to hold, you're all done with it, because everything else from now on is body weight exercises. So that was the full body, activating everything. Now we're gonna dive right into it. So we're gonna do lunges, but runners always do things in one direction, forward, right? So we are going to add in side lunges. I'll just do it for you. We're gonna add in side lunges, backwards lunges, and kind of cross backwards lunges. So seeing that from a different angle, we're gonna add in, we're gonna do front lunges, side lunges, back, and crossover back. This really activates your hip abductor, which tends to be very weak on a lot of runners, okay? Next is push-ups, which you can do against the wall, on the table, or a chair, or on the ground. So wall push-ups look like this. That's a great place to start for a lot of runners. Table or chair push-ups against something else, like this. Palms flat, please, palms flat, not up like this, not like this. Okay, palms flat, chest to the table, and back up, chest to the table, and back up. And of course, if you did want to do push-ups on the ground, more power to you. Same things apply with your core and your positioning though. And a good place to start as well is actually on your knees. And when you're doing that, again, no saggy back. Get that string and pull the belly button up towards your back, palms flat on the ground, shoulders above your wrists, and hands just about shoulder width apart, maybe a little bit more. Not too much more though. Chest to the ground. Do hip thrusters. Make sure I got enough room here to show you guys. Hip thrusters down on the ground. Same rule applies. If you've got a space between your back, pull your belly button to the floor. Make sure it's nice and flat. Palms on the ground, feet on the ground. Now most of you are just gonna thrust your hips upwards, which is generally the idea, but before you do that, as your back is nice and flat against the ground, you should activate your core, and the next thing you wanna do is squeeze your glutes as hard as you can. Squeeze your glutes, squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. As you're doing that, you might even notice that your butt comes off the ground a little bit, and that's exactly what you want. You want that first step to be thanks to your glutes pulling you up, okay? Not just because of momentum, throwing our hips up in the air. You wanna squeeze those glutes, slowly feel your hips raise up, and then you activate your hamstrings to let the rest of it finish. Is our tricep dips, coming down 90-degree angle. If this is too hard, actually bend your knees. That makes it a little bit easier, which is good. Okay, I'm gonna go repeat everything, and I've listed some suggestions as far as, you know, what should you do? Should you do 2 sets of 15, 3 sets of 10? You know, what's that pace? I've listed kind of variations of these same exercises down below to keep it interesting, because doing 3 sets of 10 of everything is really boring. So I think sometimes just switching up how you do it can make a big difference. So I've done that below. As far as what should you do numbers wise, we're not using any weight here, so it's not like you have to do low resistance, high volume, because we're only using our body weight anyways. And even though 3 sets of 10 or 2 sets of 15 might sound kind of repetitive, or, you know, like, oh, that's just your standard, your go-to, it's a standard for a reason. There's a lot of scientific evidence when you look at exercise physiology research that shows that maintaining muscle strength happens at actually it starts at 2 sets of 10, helps you maintain muscle strength. Now if you want to build anything upon that, you might not see it, but 2 sets of 10 helps you maintain what muscle strength you have. If you want to work on getting stronger, you can do a little bit more, or you add a little bit of weight. But 2 sets of 10, 2 sets of 15, 3 sets of 8, 3 sets of 10, those are all great places and great ranges for runners to be in for body weight at home exercises. Okay, I gotta keep going with this workout, so see you guys next time.